Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. We have the legendary Adrian Hernandez here. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Mike. I'm alive. I'm excited. I'm full of energy. Excited to be on this call, man. Thank you.
I love the fact that you start every call that way. That's an example of discipline right there.
Every call. When I wake up in the morning, I'm alive, excited, and full of energy. And my wife would be like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "No."
Get out of bed. Do that stuff out there.
I'm not too sure, but I'm going to keep saying it to myself till I get it.
That is awesome. Hey, one of the things that it's the number one step. It's the number one thing in my course. It's the number one thing I believe in that made us successful on this journey is a simple, 5-letter word called focus. And people really need to understand this because real estate investing offers you thousands of ways to make thousands of dollars, but it also offers you thousands of ways to lose thousands of dollars or simply waste time. People need to realize money will come and go, but time, losing a day, losing a week, losing a month, losing a year, because you're unfocused, you can't get that back. Nobody has a day stretcher. You can't buy extra years. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, they don't have a way to buy more time. So again, the thing that I preach, step one, is focus. I know that's an important word for you, so I thought maybe you can expand on what it means to you.
Yeah, no, it's so good you brought that up, Michael, because it's the focus that separates us really from what we're capable of doing to what we are settling for. It's that whole focus, right? What are we really focused on? Tony Robbins has a quote: where focus goes, energy flows.
Ooh,
Wherever
yes.
my focus goes, that's where my energy is going to flow to. So if my focus isn't clear, if my focus isn't laser focused on what I need to do, then your energy is going to go elsewhere. It's going to go to all of the other things that you're not focused on. So this is a very good example. Let's look at racehorses for a quick example. Racehorses have a little thing called blinders on.
Yeah.
Why do racehorses have blinders on? Well, they have blinders on because they need to focus on where they are going. If they didn't have blinders on, they would look to the horse to the right or the horse to the left along the race, and somewhere along the lines, they will trip and the horse will stumble. You see this happen quite often. So you, just like, whatever it is that you're doing, you have to have blinders on, ladies and gentlemen, blinders to what it is that you're focused on. Because if not, it's just a matter of time before you look and you see, wait, hold on, this guy's doing probate. And then you stumble and you fall from what you were initially focused on. Yeah. So it's the blinders that are going to separate you. It's the having that laser focus. And most importantly, staying committed to that focus. Don't let what some kid on YouTube is supposedly preaching that they're doing. Yeah. Don't let that derail you from what it is that you should be doing. You guys, there is Amazon, there is Walmart stores, there is influencers, there are giveaways, there is so many things out there that are distractions from what you should be doing. Get clear on what you should be doing and double down. Stop looking at what everybody else is doing. And I have to say, this is the problem to it.
Yeah.
This is the biggest problem to it.
Yeah. And again, it's such a good reminder, right? Why is focus a big deal for me? Because first off, I didn't appreciate that it was one of my superpowers. I didn't until I tried to help thousands of people, right? When you start to help other people because again, right, when you earn financial freedom, you either do one of two things. You either keep going and make it about some number, or you stop, sit down, and you try to pull people up. I chose the latter. Now that I have thousands of people in my courses, I can tell you that focus is the number one thing that trips people up. I could do a mentoring call, right? Somebody would pay to get the 30-minute mentoring call, and I give them the path, and then I follow up with them, and they're like, oh, they changed markets. They changed types. They're now thinking bigger is better. They're doing mobile homes. They're doing land development. They're flipping homes. I'm like, whoa, we talked like 7 days ago and you've made 17 different decisions. I mean, it hurts. It actually hurts. It physically hurts me when I hear that.
It's bad. I have a question for you because you came from the W-2 world where the focus was different. How did you get the focus on on buying rentals? How did you change that focus? Because I know it's, for one thing to say you got to be focused, but how do you change your focus?
Yeah. So that's a great question. Nobody's ever asked me that. So here I am. So it started on my 30th birthday. I'm walking through after losing 6 figures in the stock market, right? I always wanted to be financially free. Freedom was always a big deal. I always thought being a millionaire was the magic number. And I thought I was going to get there via stocks. That did not work out. Day trading, options, all of that went up, lost almost all of it. So I'm going through a bookstore. I see Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read it 10 times in a row, no lie, 10 times straight through. And it changes things for me. So that was the idea. Just Kim and Robert talking about their 2 little condos. And that was so eye-opening to me. So what happened is I had I don't want to hear about a busy life. I was working 60 hours a week. I was on an airplane, which, by the way, I hate. I'm a horrible flyer, but I did 100,000 miles a year for a decade because it paid the bills. And I was literally stressed out on every flight. It's amazing I did so many flights. And I can only find 20 minutes a day. So again, it was a superpower of mine. I would find it every day. And I actually didn't appreciate it as a superpower until I tried to help others. And why? It's because I always wanted one more. It's where one rental at a time came from. For me, it was one and then one. I always thought about the next one. And that was actually led to one of my greatest mistakes or regrets. And I hate the word regret, but it is absolutely a regret. Adrian, I don't have pictures of the properties we closed on. How idiotic of it is me that I don't have a picture of me standing in front of my first, second, third, fourth, fifth rentals. I could have a whole wall of all the things we've done. I don't have that because I just didn't celebrate the small victories. So that's something that's big for me. But how'd I do it? It's because I've always had just a fear of not being able to support my family to the way I want them. And it was going to be stocks, was going to be the corporate ladder, the rat race. Nope. Real estate. And 15 years later, there we are.
I love that. I've always wanted to ask you that.
Thank you.
From a good background. And we're talking about focus. So it's big. It's big. So I hope those of you that are in that job, right, just like Michael was, I hope that resonated with you. And nonetheless, what I do want to say, guys, we all have that little voice in the back of our head that tells us we should do more. Yeah. If you're at a job, if you're stuck at a job and there's this little voice telling you, you can do more, that is your intuition. That is your godlike within telling you there is something powerful here. Act on that thought, guys. Act on that thought. Yeah. That's when you were talking, Michael, that's what I heard. I heard that there was something in you that was saying that there is something more to this thing called life than getting on an airplane and do this day in and day out. Yeah, flying for me it's not quite traumatic, but it's pretty close. I hate it. I hate flying. It's huge.
Yeah. So thankfully I don't have to do that anymore. I can drive. Well, you have a personal example of just an example of what getting out of your lane could do. Right. And again, it'll be a little bit painful for you to talk about, but I think people need to realize that people in your and my shoes, we still occasionally get out of our lane. So could you share that little story, please?
Yeah. So I had my blinders on, right? Focusing, build the wholesale company, build the real estate company, do some flips, right? Because that's the 3 things I'm focused on. And then I started to let this blinder come off and I'm like, wait a minute, look over there. There's development going on over here. There's people tearing down these single families, building these units. That seems pretty exciting. And you guys, we're all going to go through this, unfortunately. I hope that this inspires you not to, but some of us have to learn, and we have to learn the hard way. So I had my blinders on. Before you know it, I came over here. I started to look at development. So a friend of mine bought a lot. We tore down the house. And long story short, we had no idea what we were doing. Okay, no idea. The project has sat for over a year. Construction hasn't even started. COVID hit, which is not a excuse because we still got out of our lane, right? We still did something we shouldn't have done. And when we did that, we were losing a substantial amount of money on that one deal because we got out of our lane. And I have to say, I'm super vulnerable and I'm very open here. This isn't the first time this has happened. This has happened to me before where I said, oh, I should start investing in properties out of state. I bought some deals in Scottsdale, teamed up with the wrong person and lost $200,000 a year and a half. So you guys, when we take our blinders off, when we start looking at the things that we could have, should have, maybe done, rather than just focusing on what we know is true, that's when we stumble. That's when we fall, just like that racehorse. So it's really, really important. Keep your blinders on, stay focused to what you're doing. And most importantly, figure out what it is that you want to do. Figure that out, right? Know thyself is the biggest power tool in this world. Knowing yourself, and then knowing when to say no.
Yes.
It's probably the number one biggest superpower in the world, is being able to say no, 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 no. Why? Because I'm focused here.
That's where we're going to end this video on focus. Again, if you're following one rental at a time, buy and hold, cash on cash, yield, daily disciplines, buy box, that's it. Everything else is no.
Everything else is no.
Like this, especially if you're a W-2 employee raising a family like I was. You don't have the time. Again, we're going back to one of our earlier videos. Time's the only thing you can't get back. Don't waste a day, week, month, year being distracted. One rental at a time can can improve your financial future. And if you stay on it long enough, it will lead to financial freedom. It's your choice. Just get going. Any closing thoughts, Adrian, and how can people become a part of your world?
Closing thoughts, guys, is just keep the blinders on. There's this, we do know that this market is going to change. We do know something is going to occur. What? We don't know. But keep your blinders on and stay focused to what it is that you're doing. Don't get caught up in the Instagram hype. Don't get caught up in the YouTube hype. You don't need a Lamborghini, you don't need a Ferrari, and you don't need a gold chain. It's all going to be okay. Just keep the blinders on. So just thought I'd share that. But how to find me, guys, reach me on Instagram at Adrian Hernandez. I'm also starting to do a lot on YouTube. So you can find me on YouTube. Just type in Adrian Hernandez Real Estate. Michael, I thank you so much, man. This is really fun.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you.